Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered platform. I appreciate you guys listening to all our content on all our channels and platforms. Cannot express that enough. But I'm your host, Dave Shumate, longtime SEC personnel recruiting staffer, and I'm here to give you the top 5 impact players for the LSU Tigers heading into 2024. But first, guys, we have to pay the bills first. Go to PrizePicks, guys. Go to prizepicks.com and use code SECU at signup to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 line. A lot of props, a lot of good bets going in there. I used them actually opening weekend last year when I was at the beach for the Florida State LSU game. Used them. So I encourage you to do the same here in the next 2 to 3 weeks with week 0 and week 1 coming upon us. But guys, go to PrizePicks and like I said, use code SECU at sign up to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 or more lineup. Our guys at PrizePicks do a phenomenal job. But let's get to why you are here. The top 5 impact players for the LSU Tigers heading in to 2024. Number 5 may surprise you guys. This may be one of my more surprising ones I've done in this one. We've done in alphabetical order. This may be the more, but I like it. I like it. I feel like I did my homework with this one, and I think it's going to make sense when I explain it. But I'm going to go with number 5. We're going in reverse chronological order, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But now, number 5, Blake Oschendorf, the punter, the transfer from Louisiana Tech, led Conference USA and ranked 16th nationally with 45.7 yards per punt in 23. LSU wants to be more balanced. We heard that at SEC Media Days in Dallas from Brian Kelly. We've echoed that from Garrett Nussmeier, Will Campbell. They want to be well balanced. I think it's a good strategy because I think the defense, I've mentioned it, if you know any of my stuff, the defensive personnel is not going to be there this year. I think the coaching staff hires between Bo Davis, Kevin Peoples, Coach Olson, and obviously Blake Baker were phenomenal hires, but I think you're only as good as your personnel. But if LSU wants to be a more balanced offense, play ball control, it means you also got to win the field position battle. And your punter is massive in that. If he can come back at LSU, big, long kid with long levers. If he can average what he did, if he can do what he did in Conference USA last year at Louisiana Tech and averaging about 45 yards per punt, that's going to set up LSU really well to win the field position battle. Because if you want to run the football, kind of keep your defense off the field like it seems like Brian Kelly and LSU want to do, you got to own the field position battle. So that's why I think Blake Oschendorf, the transfer from Louisiana Tech, is going to have a massive impact. And I think he is. I think he's going to have a big impact in LSU. For people I've talked to that have been at practice, people close to the program, he's had a good start to fall camp. So Blake Oschendorf coming in at number 5. I don't think I've had another kicker on here. I'll almost put the kid from Alabama, came up from Miami, Ohio, won the Lou Groza Award in it for them, but I didn't. This is the first specialist. You're welcome, Blake. You're welcome. But I think it's a little chestnut checkers move, guys, there because of what LSU wants to do offensively this year. Number 4, speaking of offense, running back Caleb Jackson as a freshman at LSU last year. He progressed as the season went on, I thought, last year. The Baton Rouge, they began to carve out more and more of a role. It's kind of the season got going at the running back position, gaining more time later in the season. You saw it in the Florida game. He's hard to tackle, gets his pads down, plays with good pad level, and he's able to drive his feet. Powerful human being across the board. But once again, LSU wants to possess the football, and Caleb may not be the workhorse right out of the gate in Vegas, even against USC. Like I'm saying, to open up the year, even early in the year, even going into that South Carolina game, it's a good chance it's Josh Williams to lead off the season. But Jackson, higher ceiling player, and I expect him to be RB1, running back 1 by season's end. I don't think this is real complicated. I like what he's doing. He's one of my favorite players on offense. Number 1 running back in the state of Louisiana coming out of high school. He's going to have a phenomenal year. It just may be more towards the middle end of the year, but that is why Caleb Jackson comes at number 4 because LSU wants to be more balanced. They want to run the football with the best offensive line in the conference. Give me Caleb Jackson, tag teaming with Will Campbell and Emory Jones, along with Garrett Dellinger, DJ Chester, and the boys across the board. Coming in at number 3, we're going to the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to be honest with you, this is the lone defensive player on this list. Shocker. Linebacker Harold Perkins. I don't have to tell you, one of the more talented players in the entire country. Just a freak athlete. If you want to go see this kid's ceiling, go back to his freshman year in 2022. The game in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Freezing game, kind of ugly game across the board. But how he took over and dominated the game and actually won LSU, clinched the SEC West that year because of Harold Perkins the week after they beat Alabama. They went for 2, Jaden Daniels to Mason Taylor. But go watch him chase down Malik Hornsby, the quarterback for LSU then. I mean, for Arkansas then. He was a legit low 4.4 guy, and he is chasing him down. I mean, that's at 6'1", 225. Harold Perkins. That's at his peak. That's at his ceiling. But it just feels like felt like under Matt House, who's now with the Jacksonville Jaguars, he just couldn't figure out how to use it. I think he's an off-the-ball linebacker, really inside the box, line him up on third down, let him do his thing. And if you're an LSU fan, why you should be fired up about Blake Baker. He is the linebackers coach. He's going to be with him every day, all day, and he's going to get the most out of this 6'1", 225-pound just freak. You remember Damon Clark back in 2021, Ed Orgeron's last year? Blake Baker was on that staff. Went round 5 to the Dallas Cowboys. He's had a solid NFL career so far, Des Moines has. Blake Baker developed him in that 2021 season. I expect Harold Perkins to do the same. No one probably is more fired up for the Blake Baker hire than Harold Perkins, or at least he should be, because I think he's going to reach his max potential. I encourage you, if you haven't gone to see the ceiling, go watch that Arkansas game. Guys at 6'1", 225 should not be chasing around quarterbacks who are probably about 6'1", 205 that run 4.4, low 4.4 guy. And that's what Harold Perkins was doing. Blessing in disguise that Blake Baker is coming to coach him at his own position. Coming in at number 2, the left tackle, Will Campbell, arguably one of the best players in college football. Should be a top 5 pick in the 2020-25 NFL draft. Factor in LSU is going to be a more perimeter run game in 2024. So he's going to have to slim down a little bit. He has slimmed down but gotten stronger. Look for Campbell to be pulling in a lot of these counter plays that I've seen that LSU's released from their practices so far this camp. Guy's already, like I mentioned, one of the best players in college football, but he's developed even more this offseason. Again, would be shocked if he's not a top 5 overall pick, depending how the quarterback range shakes out. Depending how it shakes out there. Will Campbell, no doubt about it. He's going to have to be even better this year. Him and Emory Jones, that offensive line across the board. Best offensive line going into the season out of the SEC, in my opinion. Will Campbell, no doubt about it, impact player. And then number 1, QB1, most important position in the sport, most important position in all of sports, Garrett Nussmeier, one of my favorite overall players in the country. He stuck it out in Baton Rouge when he could have left after the 2022 season when Jaden Daniels locked down that spot. The guy just loves being an LSU Tiger, and I respect the hell out of it. He understands loyalty and development. Not everyone starts right away. Everybody has their different paths to success. I think this was his road, and I tip of the cap to you there, Garrett. And I think him being a coach's kid, remember Doug Nussmeier is his father, I think it's had something to do with that. But look, continuity on the LSU offense I think is going to help Garrett here. I think they have every position coach back. Joe Sloan at quarterback, Frank Wilson running backs coach, Cortez Hankton wide receivers, Brad Davis offensive line. I think Slade Nagel, special teams tight ends coach, is the only guy that is new coming over for, I think, Tulane. But is Garrett Nussmeier going to have a Jaden Daniels 2023 season? No, I don't think so. Are there going to be some more turnovers? Probably. He always reminded me a little bit of a mixture of Phillip Rivers and Brett Favre. But I do think there's a legit chance Garrett Nussmeier could be in New York come mid-December. I don't think he'll win it because, again, sorry, LSU fans, I think you're closer to 8-4, 9-3 sure because of the defense. I think the offense is going to be really good. I think it is, but I don't think it's going to be as good. It's going to have to pick up some of the slack because of the defensive personnel. But I think Garrett Nussmeier, LSU couldn't be more fired up to have him waiting in the wings. This is what I love about Garrett Nussmeier, one of my favorite guys after listening to him talk in Dallas at SEC Media Day. It's just like how much he loves being an LSU Tiger and being in Baton Rouge and how much being a part of this football program means something to him. I respect the hell out of that. And I hope he has a good year. I think he is going to have a big year. Is it going to be Jaden Daniels 2023, last year Heisman Trophy? No. But LSU's not – if they don't win the SEC this year, I'm telling you, it's not going to be because Garrett Nussmeier struggled. I think he's going to be fine. But some guys that just missed the cut, I think you'd have to talk about wide receiver Kyron Lacey. If he can translate that onto the field, he usually has a big spring game. You like what he's done. Mississippi State transfer wide receiver Xavier Thomas. He's going to be a big-time threat. Also provides special teams value for LSU, which I think's going to be key with them trying to be more balanced, play field position, run the football. It's going to be key. Liberty transfer C.J. Daniels could be in the conversation as well, and tight end Mason Taylor could be in as well. You'd be like, Dave, you only had one defensive guy even in the conversation in the top 9. That's right. I'm not high on this defensive personnel outside of Harold Perkins. Like I've said, I was on Carter Powers' show last week. Our Carter Bryant's show last week. Power Hour, baby. Go listen to it, LSU fans, if you hadn't already listened to it. I'm sure you are. But I mentioned if Jordan Jefferson was back, the defensive tackle last year was arguably their 3rd best defensive tackle. He would be their 2nd best player on the entire team. Entire defense outside of Harold Perkins. Carter even agreed. So the personnel's not there defensively, but there's a lot of potential in offense. And that's why I don't think LSU takes a major step back offensively. I just think they're going to be a different style this year. And that's why I think special teams is going to be big this year. And that's why I put Blake Oschendorf. But recapping, coming in at number 5 of the top 5 impact players for the LSU Tigers in 2024. Number 5, punter Blake Oschendorf. Number 4, running back Caleb Jackson. Number 3, linebacker Harold Perkins. Number 2, left tackle Will Campbell. And number 1, quarterback Garrett Nussmeier. But folks, I appreciate you joining us on this segment of the top 5 most impactful players for the LSU Tigers heading into the 2024 season. Guys, go like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, rate, review, get us on everywhere you get your podcast. SEC Unfiltered, 24/7, 365 SEC content coming at you. Guys, I'm your host, Dave Shumate. I appreciate you joining us on this segment. You have a phenomenal afternoon.